time again, you have proven you'll do just what you said. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. Oh.
Today, we acknowledge that our school is located on Treaty 1 territory, which consists of the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation, as well as that of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples. Through this declaration, we seek to demonstrate respect for the treaties that were made on these territories, acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and dedicate ourselves to move forward with Indigenous communities in a spirit of partnership and reconciliation.
Thank you for coming and helping us do this. We're just getting some people in to ask some questions for our chapel as part of our intro. So the first question, what do you think, what comes to mind when I say the word change?
Change could mean adventure or being like pushed out of your comfort zone.
How something is gonna become something different.
I think of things turning different when hard times or good times come.
Making a difference in the world. Money. I think of coins.
The kind of money you carry around in your pocket.
Change, actually learning comes to mind. I have a friend who's fond of saying that learning is change, and I didn't get that when he first said it, but I wouldn't have to think about it very long. I guess if I haven't changed, then I haven't learned anything. So if I don't have new knowledge or new skills, if I'm exactly the same as when I started, then I didn't learn anything. So I think of change, I think of learning.
Great is your faithfulness to me. Oh, great is your faithfulness from the rising sun to the setting same. I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me.
What goes through your mind when you hear the word change?
My childhood was change. Up to the point I was 18, before I moved out, I moved somewhere around 20 times.
Is change good? Is change bad? Inherently one or the other? Do you have a feeling about that?
I would think that generally speaking, change is good. Because if you don't change, you don't grow. And I think I'm stealing a bit from Mr. Jose on that one.
Yeah.
And you can't grow without change. If I want to be in decent shape, like I've talked to students about, different martial arts I've done. I need to learn things. I need to do things differently so I get better.
I mean, you're saying it's good. Are there things that you're experiencing or that you can see where change is negative?
You can kind of summarize it as good or bad, but there's probably lots of good and lots of bad in everything.
Okay, so it's good and bad. It's both and, right? The whole thing about change.
I just thought of a story.
And then how can we be a part of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is, I don't even know if it's true, but I like it. The idea that, and some people probably heard this, there's a couple, they're on vacation, they're on the beach, it's sunset, they're walking along, it's beautiful, and there's all these starfishes that are all over the beach. There's this little kid, and he's picking them up, and he's hucking them out into the ocean. And so the guy says to the kid, he's like, what are you doing? He says, well, they won't be able to get back into the water and they'll dry out and die if I don't throw them in. And the guy's like, well, there are tons all over the beach. How do you expect to make a difference? Kid doesn't stop, picks up another one, hucks it, and he says, made a difference to that one. And I think that's powerful. And so like I may not be able to, change the entire like global impact where my name goes down forever, but I might be able to help out the people around me in some way, and I think that matters.
Yeah.
And then maybe they go and help somebody else. Do you see change as normally a positive thing or a negative thing?
It depends on what what it's mostly referring to. Like it could either be a good or a bad thing.
Right now, change is bad, but usually I would think of change as good.
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation, because you could change for something worse or you could change for something better.
I kind of feel like I'm on the side of mostly good.
Mostly a positive thing.
I think change can go both ways. Like, change can be like a positive thing, absolutely. But there can also be some negative change as well.
Like, personally, I don't like change. I like order and like everything the same. But for some people, change can be hard.
Usually bad.
So, in the face of change, what should our stance be?
Just go at it. It's so, I don't know if easy is even the right word, but maybe natural, and maybe I'm only speaking for myself, to just avoid change, just kind of hide from it. But eventually I keep withdrawing, and then it's this change or whatever is taken up. So I might as well just go into it, go head on.
Mm-hmm.
So
where do you get this strength for that?
That comes from like kind of a healthy self-care, especially in times like this, to ground yourself. And for some people it's reading the Bible, for some people it's praying, for some people it's meditating, and then there's also exercise, eating right, sleeping well, things like that. You kind of there's a good part to being selfish.
Yeah.
There's a healthy part to being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I often think of you're in an airplane and they say, if you have a young person traveling with you, put your own mask on before you put theirs on.
Yeah.
Because if you're struggling to put theirs on and you're not breathing, you're done, they're done.
Right.
Kind of
right.
I think is how they explain it. You're done, they're done.
Done, they're done.
So that's, sorry to use airport language, but look it up.
One of the things that, as I was thinking about this topic for chapel, and thinking about change and all of the changes that all of our students are going through these days, and I was going back to that question of like, well, where do we go? Like, do we go deeper kind of within ourselves to find, do we get sleep? Do we do exercise? Are there other things? And you had mentioned, maybe it is kind of taking moments to be contemplative a little bit, to have some space away from a video game or even a book or even homework, where there's something that we can anchor ourselves to. And so there's this song really that I like, and it talks about how God can be an anchor for our souls, that our faith can be that anchor that really is a tether, right? It's something that kind of holds us, gives us freedom, but it also gives us, a sticking point somewhere. So I go back to Hebrews chapter 6, where this metaphor of anchor comes up. So I'm just going to read a little bit from it, Hebrews 6. So when God made his promise to Abraham, he made a vow to do what he had promised. And since there was no one greater than himself, he used his own name when he made his vow. And he said, I promise you that I will bless you and give you many descendants. And Abraham was patient, and so he received what God had promised. And when we make a vow, we use the name of someone greater than ourselves, and the vow settles all arguments, apparently. To those who were to receive what he promised, God wanted to make it very clear that he would never change his purpose. So he added his vow to the promise. There are these two things then that cannot change and about which God cannot lie. So we who have found safety with him are greatly encouraged to hold firmly to the hope placed before us. We have this hope as an anchor for our lives. It is safe and sure and goes through the curtain of the heavenly temple into the inner sanctuary. On our behalf, Jesus has gone in there before us and has become a high priest forever. And again, this is from Hebrews, against Paul is writing, and he's saying, there is this God. There is an anchor for our souls, for our life. So even in this craziness, there is this tether that can hold us, and that we can go back to.
I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground. He's my hope and firm foundation. And he'll never let me down. He'll never let me down. I put my faith in my anchor to the ground. He's my hope and firm foundation. Never let me down. He'll never say I put my faith.
Could you give me an example of a good change or an example of a bad change?
So like I changed schools, so that's what I first come to. It's like a positive thing.
Yeah, like right now, the COVID change. I haven't enjoyed it at all. Sorry for bringing it up because it's a never-ending topic. I haven't liked the changes because it has impacted things that are really, really important to me.
COVID-19.
Yeah. Why? Like what?
Just because this year there's been so many different changes to school and student council and classes, and next week I'm not even here at all. It's difficult to learn from home, but you just have to push through it.
A good change could be something like maybe like your attitude, like you're starting to do more chores, helping your mom out in the house, which is a good change.
Helping one another.
I think of new life, and I think of like changing schools, how it can be difficult, but you can go through it.
Something I've been thinking about more lately is, I've never, I don't want to say put a lot of stock in hope. I just haven't even thought about it much. Faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love.
Yeah.
I'm a clanging gong, and et cetera, et cetera. We've heard that so many times. And then obviously faith is important. I have not put a whole lot of stock into hope, but now I have to. Now I have to, because I have to hope this is going to get better. I have to hope that there's a plan and there's a season and all the rest of it, and that kind of eyes on the prize kind of a thing, one foot in front of the other. Some days, and that's just what it is. It's just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and I think without hope, there's nothing. Hope is what faith is, right? And then there's love, right? I mean, it's just kind of like without these things, without this recognition, I guess, that hope does exist, even if I'm not feeling it in the moment, that's what can make change worth living through and living for.
Yes, I'll still bless you in the middle of the storm, in the middle of my trial. I'll still bless you in the middle of the road when I don't know where to go. I'll still bless you.
Our God who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.